think about all the times I've dreamt about this. When I was little, when I really wanted it. And my real mother coming to me, hugging me, telling me how much she loved me. And just now, all it did was make my flesh crawl.
But it's for a good cause, Lily. Now that you've renewed those old ties that bind with Gina, she won't be able to deny her long-lost daughter anything. You'll get her to give up that tape, and then she'll turn around and realize that she's given up not only my father, but all his money as well. What better retribution?
I've decided it's not enough for Gina to lose. I have to win also.
But you will.
No, I need something public, something for me alone. And the name Lily Light is going to mean more than it ever did before. I had a following when I came here. And those people believed in me. The fire changed all that.
Well, you still have a certain base, Lily. People still write, send donations.
No, I need a multitude. I need a staff and a place to operate from. My cathedral of light. And you're going to help me get it. Otherwise, I'll go to Gina, tell her I've thought about this whole thing, and I'll have nothing else to do with her.
All right. That sounds fair enough. You help me get that tape, and I'll help pass you off as the next miracle of the ages. But first things first.
No, I'm coming first for once. I'm going to give orders, and you're going to obey. So start listening.
Haley, you're not going to believe what I found out last night.
Gina, I don't feel like talking about it.
Okay, but you need to know this. Remember when I told you I went to see Lily and she said... What's wrong with you?
Gina, please.
Good heavens, what's wrong? You look awful. Must be Ted. Something with Ted. What is it?
Yes, we had a fight last night.
What about?
About you and Lily.
What about us?
I have no idea. I can't make it out myself. I went to see him this morning, and he informed me that he doesn't intend on going back to jail.
I thought he had to go back tonight.
No, not if he testifies against me, he doesn't.
Oh, come on, Haley. He would never do that.
Gina, he told me he was going to. The next person who's going to jail is going to be me.
She's been waiting for me to desert her. I could see that. In fact, Dad, she almost acted as if she deserved it. I am so ashamed.
Ted, listen. Just listen to me. This is only temporary until we get the tape from Gina, and then you can explain. Look, I know how hard this is on you. And I can't tell you how much I respect you for doing it, but if one day like this clears Kelly, don't you think it's worth it?
Dad, you don't want Gina to break up you and Mom, right? But it does not bother you that you are destroying what Haley and I have.
Oh, Ted, come.
Hearing angry voices. I see no one's going to enlighten me.
Ask Dad.
I suppose this is about the plan that you refused to tell me about. Do you think it's worth it if your son is that upset? I want to know what you're doing, and I want to know now.
Whatever I'm doing, you can't stop because it's too late. Look, I didn't force him to do anything. I gave him an option.
You quit evading me, or I'm going to go to Ted and find out what it is. And if you think I'm angry now, when do you see me then?
All right, sit down. I'll tell you about it.
Last name is Capwell. First initial would be E. And it should have left sometime in the excuse me. I'll be there in a minute. The flight should have been within the last 2 hours. I said hold on a second. Yeah, well, you think you could run it through your software and get back to me? I'll be here, thanks.
Hi.
Look, I was on the phone, and you know, I'm real busy.
Just don't brush me off so fast. I might have something to tell you that'll make you real happy.
Like what?
Like I am reviewing my options. Remember that monumental decision that I had made to stay here after the play? Well, I've decided to do some rethinking.
Uh-huh. So where are you going to go?
Not back to L.A., not back to Martin. What difference does it really make to you as long as I leave?
What difference? Don't put this on me. I'm not asking you to do anything.
I don't know. Eden and I had another run-in. It was perhaps the worst of them all. I will do anything to avoid it again.
Huh? And when was this run-in? Excuse me, I gotta get that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe she could have taken a private plane then. Yeah, well, thanks anyway. Yeah, bye.
You know, when I was a stewardess, we used to see those little darlings all the time, the real expensive carry-on luggage and the little frown lines. They would sit next to the window, and they must have looked out 100 times before takeoff. They kept on wishing that some guy would come running down the ramp and stop them from leaving. You know, one of these days, she's going to run out of dramatic gestures.
Well, you know, I doubt there'll be any shortage of drama as long as you're around, Tori. I think you'd want to save a little of it for the stage.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
First, we planned the biggest tent meeting Lily Light has ever had. Standing room only.
How? Unless we burn the chairs and buy a pup tent.
No, you're going to do that. You're going to pack them in, even if you have to pay them out of your own pocket.
And then what?
And then the cure. The miracle cure.
The what?
You heard me. I'm going to heal someone. They'll all see it with their own eyes, and people become believers, every last one of them.
You mean the old throw down your crutches and arise, brother routine? Lily, that's never been part of your repertoire.
But it works for my so-called parents. It can work for me.
Well, where do you intend to get the gift of healing? I don't think there's a correspondence course.
No, I don't have to have the power. Just people have to think that I have it.
Oh, I see. You're going to get some derelict to come in with dark glasses and pretend he's blind. That's not going to fool people for a minute, Lily.
No, I already know who I'm going to heal, and it's going to be very convincing.
Who?
Gina.
Gina?
You know that supposedly injured leg she has? It's all a fake. And I've known about that for a long time now. I knew it would come in handy.
So you're going to go to Gina and ask her to pretend?
No, Mason, you're going to go to her. But you're not going to ask her anything. Talk to her about how there's this one thing her darling Lily has always wished for. And that's legitimacy and respect. And that can only come through public confirmation of my power. Let Gina take it from there.
That's good. She volunteers. That's very good.
Well, what good would it do me to have her suspect my motives?
Yeah, the less your motives are investigated, the better, Lily.
You don't exactly come out smelling like roses, Mason. And you're hell-bent on getting that tape from Gina for your sister Kelly, for your dear sister Kelly. It's not her freedom that you're after.
Oh, I see. Lily Light is a mind reader now, huh?
It's your father. You can't resist having him owe his deliverance to his less-than-favorite son. You'd be a hero.
No, you're wrong, Lily. If saving my father from Gina was the only issue here, well, I wouldn't lift a finger. No, I'm doing this for my sister Kelly. And if you knew her, you wouldn't ask why. It is an interesting premise, though, I'll hand you that. Maybe it's hereditary.
What?
Well, that's just the sort of thing that Gina would have accused me of. Like mother, like...
Don't you dare, ever. There's no comparison.
Of course not. How silly of me.
Mason, a 2-word apology will be fine.
I've got more than just 2 words to say to you. You know, I thought if I waited long enough, you'd just give yourself away. Or better yet, you wouldn't be able to live with what you did to my wife. So you would just break down and confess. But obviously, I'm just going to have to break you. Myself.
Oh, Caroline, huh? I'm afraid you missed Jan. She had to fill in for somebody down at the station.
I know. I'm not here to see Jane. Well, can I come in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, come in. I didn't mean to be rude.
Now, I was hoping for a chance to get better acquainted with a man who's playing such a large role in my daughter's life. I hope that's all right with you.
Cece, we can't panic and forget everything.
Darling, Ted is doing this for Kelly, and he's doing it for us, and whatever pain he's going to suffer will only be temporary.
I don't think so if Haley reacts the way I think she'll react.
What do you mean by that?
I think Think about it. I mean, this poor girl has probably been in a state of terror for the last couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, her only hope suddenly evaporates for no apparent reason. Who knows where that'll drive her to?
There won't be time for things to get out of hand. Gina's going to waltz in here sometime before midnight, hand over the tape. Haley will be off the hook, and that'll be all over.
Even if your plan works, and I don't think it will, because the one person that Gina likes more than anyone in the world is Gina, how can you involve your own son and use an innocent girl?
Innocent only up to a point.
You know what I'm saying? She does not deserve to be in jail.
She won't be in jail. Darling, it's only a bluff. He's very adamant about protecting that young lady.
Love. He's very adamant about loving her. That's what this stand is all about. Now, you're saying it's only going to be one day. What it'll be for her is like his putting a revolver to her head until midnight, then all of a sudden, gee, I'm sorry, honey, do you still love me? Would you do that to me? If you did, I know what I'd say.
It's either this or nothing.
Sometimes nothing is better than losing our humanity.
You can't ask me to just give up. You can't ask that.
Evidently, I can't ask you anything.
I will not apologize for fighting for my children. I will do whatever I have to do, and the world be damned.
Ted's just scared, that's all. You know, jail is no day at the beach, especially for somebody like Ted who's had it pretty good all of his life. It's just last-minute panic.
That's not it, Gina. He just doesn't think I'm worth it anymore.
Don't be ridiculous. Ted loves you.
He may have once, but it's not the same. Things have changed.
No. Ted cares for you. He's the only one in the whole Capwell family with a heart. His feelings aren't going to change overnight. Not Ted Capwell's.
What about Ted Capwell?
None of your business, Mason. Matter of fact, you and I had better make ourselves scarce. Don't worry, I told you. Oh, don't worry, Ted. Mason and I were just leaving. I know you and Haley have plenty of things to talk about.
Oh, you know all about it, do you?
Well, I know that you said some thoughtless things to her that you probably want to take back. Maybe you should stick around, Mason. You could learn a thing or two. He's a man who's big enough to apologize.
I'm not apologizing about a damn thing. I meant every word I said.
You can't be serious.
Oh, you thought it would just go on forever. You know, that I'd line up and take the fall for you and your precious Lily Light. No, you and Lily Light were probably just laughing behind my back.
I can't believe you would even think something like that.
Oh, Haley, there's no question in my mind who you trusted more. Yeah, you know, since you met her, everything I said was wrong, everything she said was right, except, of course, when I went to jail for you. Then suddenly I wasn't such a bad person, was I?
Hey, you know I didn't want you to go to jail for me.
Yeah, you told me. But better me than Lily, right? Meanwhile, Lily doesn't care who goes to jail, just as long as it's not her. You know, I don't know how you can let a sicko like that tell you how to live your life. That is beyond me.
You're making a lot of assumptions about somebody you don't really know.
Oh, you know her just like I know her. She's a 40-carat fake.
First impressions aren't always accurate.
Gina,
Did you ever think of that?
let's stay on track here. Lily's not the issue. Ted and Haley are.
Yeah, and I don't want to be the issue anymore. I'm getting out. I'm telling the truth tonight, and whatever happens, I don't care.
This doesn't even sound like you, Ted. It sounds like your father. You take a look at her. That is the girl that you love. Real love, not that kid stuff. Okay, so the accident happened and you got scared. But there's still love there. I know there is. Don't let it scare away.
Ted? Excuse me. You want to tell me what's going on?
I wised up. That's what's going on.
You know, Gina's right. You're starting to sound a lot like me.
Well, I just want to follow in your footsteps, okay?
Nah, that would take years of practice, Ted. A lot more abuse from Dad. Not an attitude you can slip on like a new pair of shoes. Really expect me to believe you suddenly don't care at all what happens to Haley?
Just leave me alone. Did he say she was leaving?
No.
Or what got said that started this run-in?
She had talked to Keith. She knew that I had lied, which she wanted me to do in the first place, but for some reason she seemed to get angrier.
Well, the story has changed so many times. She's probably dizzy by now.
Oh, come on. It worked. We convinced him. Plus, he went out of his way to even try to apologize to you. So why shouldn't Eden be happy about that?
I bet if she could trust that you had no ulterior motives, she would be.
You know, you seem so sure of her most of the time, but look what you're doing. You're on the phone calling all over town trying to find out where she is. Well, what are you going to do when you find her? You going to go after her?
I don't know, but, whatever I decide to do, I'm not going to clear it with you first.
Wait a minute. You seem so angry all the time. Why doesn't she talk to you? Why does she play all these little games?
I don't have to explain Eden to you.
Who explains her to you?
Nobody does. Nobody has to. You see, I understand that just because we have a beef once in a while doesn't mean we don't love each other. People beef.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now, all the little spats that we used to have. Remember that one time I was so mad at you that I punctured all your tires? You had to walk all the way home off of that mountain. 14 miles comes to mind. Was it that far?
I don't remember.
And then I felt so bad when you came home. I did everything in my power to prove to you that I was sorry. Come on, don't say you don't remember that.
When somebody remembers something, it's not the same as when they want it back. In fact, it's not even close.
I guess I asked for that.
I gave up on us a long time ago.
And now I'm supposed to be a good little girl and do the same.
You'd be a lot happier if you did. And I'd like to see you happy. I'm going to finish my calls from the station. Lock up when you leave, okay?
Sure.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that.
Look, it's going to be rough on Ted, but the important thing is Gina's reacting the way we thought she would. She'll be rushing in here, breathing fire in just a few minutes.
I thought you'd be here by now, though.
She'll show up, son.
Tell you, Dad, if I cut Haley for no reason, I
That would
swear...
be a shame, wouldn't it? All that agony, and then Gina decides not to play?
Mason, if you're going to be negative, get out. Ted doesn't need it, neither do I.
I'm sorry, Dad. I just know how unpredictable Gina can be. I wish you'd told me what you were doing so I could have pointed you in another direction. I could have gotten you that tape and Gina's head on matching platters.
I went to you in the first place. Do you remember? You had your chance to find the tape, but you fell flat on your arrogance. So don't tell me about coming to you for advice.
Fine, and if using Haley as shark bait falls flat, don't come to me for my alternate method.
We are not going to need your alternative methods. Gina's going to walk through that door, and I will take it from there.
20 minutes. What is she waiting for?
What can I say that I haven't said already?
How about I give up? Then we can go to the police and get you a nice comfy cell somewhere.
Brick, look, if a country goes to war and people die, they don't drag the prime minister to trial for murder. I mean, I can't be punished simply because someone did something in my name.
Look, don't take on airs. You are not a head of state, and there wasn't a war. To you, it was just a small, petty, messy little act of negligence that you could have stopped. But you didn't. My wife was murdered.
Well, the law doesn't look at it that way.
I am not the law! My sense of right and wrong isn't built upon precedents and rulings. So it's a made-up law. It doesn't have to tell me you're guilty. It doesn't have to tell you either. Because you know. And if you ever should happen to forget, I'll be right here to remind you.
Brick, get out of here. I mean it. I'm going to call the police this time. Let go of me! Calling up here. You leave her alone. Get the hell out of here. Are you all right? I asked him to leave and he wouldn't. I just tried to call the police. You heard her. Hey, get out!
Since when do you defend your worst enemy? Next thing you're going to tell me that you're, been converted to the way of the light or whatever she's calling you this week.
Have you ever heard of a citizen's arrest?
Do you use hypnosis or what?
She's not talking to you. Now just get out of here. How long is it going to take for you to get that through your thick head? She wants you to leave.
My head. You better see a deprogrammer. Might not be too late.
Are you all right?
Yeah. I'm fine, thanks. You came just in time.
Look, I know how much you care about Haley. I know why you sought her out now, because she's your cousin. She's in trouble. You may be the only person who can help her. Do I get my picture and name in the paper or what? Total amateur discovers prehistoric thingamabob on first try.
You must lead a charmed life. You know, most people wouldn't discover something like that. 10 days, much less 10 minutes.
Come on, you did all the groundwork, so to speak, and ooh and ah every time I uncovered a rock.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet that's why Jane loves working with you so much. You make a person feel like she's the only one for the job.
Your daughter's very talented. I bet she could take a thingamabob like that and classify it down to its microscopic particles.
Yeah, she's made the most of her education, I'm proud to say. Yeah, to think, this little old bone is part of something that stretches all the way over to C.C. Capwell's inner sanctum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to dig up every last fragment of it, too.
You're going to bulldoze all those fountains and hedges and pretty little lily ponds?
Only in the interest of science.
Well, here's the science. And if it ticks old C.C. off, so much the better,
Now, what do you know about it, C.C. and me?
Well, your families have never gotten along too well. Everybody knows that.
Not everybody in Georgia.
Oh, listen, I have spent a lot of time off and on in Santa Barbara. I've been reading about you for years.
Oh, you mean you know about my Nobel Prize, my former Major League career, and my cure for the common cold?
Actually, I missed that information.
Why do people do that? They just read the headlines about my suspected philandering, my gambling, my bankruptcy, my divorce, and never get any further than that. Right?
Now, I didn't know you were divorced. The rest of your reputation is old hat.
My reputation isn't worth the wet paper bag it's written on.
I've been saying the same thing about myself for years, and so has everybody else.
My dear Caroline, your reputation couldn't possibly be as scandalous as mine.
You ought to get to know me a little better before you make an assumption like that.
Well, maybe I might just do that.
I want you to come home, Sophie. I've been calling everywhere.
I'm a little too angry to come home right now and talk to you. I'm afraid I'm going to say things that I don't want to say.
Darling, I love you, but you're not being fair. I need you solidly behind me now.
Don't you talk to me about fair. Fair never got on your way, did it? All right, there you go. See what I mean? I'm sorry. I love you too. But I'm just going to stay here a little longer. And I think you're going to have to find another way to deal with Gina. I'll see you later, Cece. I need some more time. Glad I caught up with you. I was told that Eden was here this morning. She came to work, but now I can't get a hold of her. She's not at your house.
Yeah, well, Eden decided to go out of town for a few days, but don't ask me where because I don't know.
I'm sorry. I know there's a problem. She stayed with us last night.
Yeah, there is a problem. We've been through worse, though, and I'm going to track her down and everything will work it out.
I hope so. I thought you said you were going to the office. I had a hard time finding you.
Tori, for goodness sake, why are you doing this? You want me to hurt you?
Believe it or not, I'm not here for the humiliation. You got a message after you left. One of the airlines called. They got all your information. You're supposed to call that number.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry. See, I thought...
I know what you thought. Forget it.
I guess I better find a phone.
Yeah, make your reservation real quick. Have a good trip.
You know, I hope you finally understand how it has to be.
I understand how you think it has to be. I just hope that I'm around when you realize that it isn't like that anymore.
Gina could be planning some sort of counterattack. I suggest we discuss it and get ourselves ready for it. 'Cause if we don't, she could,
Hello, Ted. May I come in?
Certainly.
Ah, all the Capwell men in one place. Now, a lesser woman might feel outnumbered. I hope I didn't interrupt some kind of powwow.
Oh, Ted, he was just telling me that he's reconsidered and he's going to testify about the fire at Buzz's place instead of going to jail. I couldn't be more delighted.
Haley has never intentionally hurt anybody in her entire life. She's a young, sweet, caring girl. Now, your son made certain promises. He led Haley to believe that she could count on him. And now, with no warning at all whatsoever, you're going to turn your back on her? Is that what you raised?
I'm not going to jail, Gina, to keep her out. That simple.
There must be some way you can testify without implicating Haley. That way nobody has to go to jail. Come on, Mason. There must be a way.
Well, the way I see it, there's only one other option.
What?
Ted might agree not to break his vow of silence if you would agree to a few conditions.
I could see this coming a mile away.
All you have to do is nullify the marriage, turn over the tape, and Haley doesn't have to worry at all about going to jail.
Dad, you really gonna let them use you this way?
Well, why not? I mean, Haley and I are finished anyway.
Come on. That document was signed and sealed. It has nothing to do with this.
Well, then I think you better tell Haley to pack a lot of books because she's going to have an awful lot of time to read. They do let you read there, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing how things have changed. Bread and water kind of out of it now, isn't it?
Big grown men. And all you can do is railroad some poor defenseless girl.
No, Gina, she is not defenseless because she has you. But you could help her, but you're too bloody selfish.
You can hardly expect us to come to Haley's rescue when her own family is prepared to abandon her.
Oh, what do you know about family, Mason? Yours only whistles for you when they can't get some other dog to do their dirty work.
Gina, give us back the tape and call off the marriage. The only way you can to keep Haley out of jail. It's up to you.
We're waiting for your answer, Gina.
You people always get what you want, don't you?
It's an eye for an eye. You save Kelly, we save Haley.
No.
What?
You're bluffing.
Bluffing? No. Why don't you tell that to Haley? It'll be great comfort to her.
So you're going to be there? When they take Haley away? You're not going to let that happen. Not in a million years.
Try me.
Oh, I intend to. And you're not going to disappoint me. Because what your father doesn't realize is fundamentally, you're not a bit like him.
You say one word, there'll be bloodshed.
What's a little more blood? I'm already up to hearing it.
Ted, wait a minute, will you? Ted, I had no idea what was going on. You gotta listen. Ted!
Oh, Mr. Capwell.
What? Look, you had anything to do with landscaping. You talk to Mr. Phillips. He's my gardener.
No, sir, I'm asking about the equipment down by the gazebo.
What equipment by the gazebo? What are you talking about?
Well, sir, it's supposed to be demolished tomorrow. I mean, orders of Mr. Lockridge.
What?
This is your daughter. Mm-hmm. She looks like a toothpaste ad. What a smile.
You ought to see her in person. That's my ma.
Oh, she looks very,
formidable. That's what other people say, and they're absolutely right. Yeah.
And this?
That's Lakin's mother, Augusta, my ex-wife.
Oh. No, thumbnail history?
There's plenty of history. A lifetime of work. I just tend to get a little maudlin when I dwell on it.
I've collected one or two of those myself. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up a painful subject.
That's okay. Let me refill your glass.
Thank you.
What are you doing here, Caroline? Again?
See, I didn't get a chance to ask you how you were the other day. Not still in the fight game, by any chance?
No, by no chance. I'm surprised you even have the cheek to bring it up. I wanted to see Lionel, but since he's not alone, I won't stay.
Fine. I didn't think you wanted to talk to me about our old times.
I didn't think you did either. You keep your filthy machinery away from my gazebo. If one board is touched, I'll sue you for whatever you even got left. Excuse me.
So you know him, huh?
In the dim past.
How well?
I don't know if I should answer that.
You can trust me.
It's a long story.
I always preferred the novel form to the short story.
Well, maybe I'll get into it over lunch. Maybe I won't.
Thank you for coming.
I needed to see you. You always make me feel good when I see you.
Haley, don't say that.
What's wrong?
I have something to tell you, and I don't know if you're ready to hear it.
Was it about something about you being Gina's daughter? I mean, she told me that yesterday. Is that what you mean?
No, that's not what I mean.
Well, I guess she did make a mistake. It couldn't really be true.
No, it's true. But that doesn't matter right now.
Really? But of course it matters. I mean, but don't you see that makes us family? That's why I was so drawn to you.
Haley, don't make so much of me. Don't make me so important. It's going to be a big mistake.
Why do you say that?
You think I came to Santa Barbara to spread my message of light? I didn't. I came here because Gina was here, and I hate her. Hate Haley. That's what brought you and me together. It started that fire, and it took Amy Wallace's life.
No. Why are you talking to me like this?
I blame my mother for abandoning me, and I'm here for revenge. Now, how do you like that for opening my heart to my fellow man? How do you like the way I practice what I preach? Haley, the protests, the meetings, they were just an excuse for me being here. They didn't mean anything at all.
No, I'm not going to accept that. What you told me meant something to me.
Now, that's why I have to stop this. It's gone too far. It's pathetic. Haley, you put all of your trust into the wrong person. Now, I know you're thinking about making a confession to get this investigation away from me and my followers. Don't do it. Remember all of this and keep your mouth shut.
Where's Ted? No, you...
Ted was right about me all along. And if you doubt that, remember this, Haley. I could have helped you. I could have gotten you out of jail. And I didn't do it because I was too concerned about myself. Now, don't make any big sacrifices for me. I could have done it for you. I had the chance, and I didn't even consider it.
Where did you go? I looked all over.
I went to see Lionel, but he was entertaining someone. I'm trying to keep him from plowing under everything we own.
You don't have time to worry about that now, Dad. It's time to move on to Plan B.
You mind telling me what this plan is you keep harping about?
Oh, that's Plan C, my personal favorite, but let's not give up on yours yet. Gina wouldn't cooperate because she thought we were bluffing, right? Well, what if we're not bluffing?
Explain yourself.
First, I want you to promise me that I'll handle things from now on. Made a few phone calls. I'll need about an hour to clean up the mess you made.
Are you ready to tell me what you are talking about?
Just make sure you and Ted are at the courthouse by 1, okay?
Mason...
Unless you want to look forward to a honeymoon with you-know-who.
Need a ride to the airport?
You just don't quit, do you?
You know, actually, it is just the opposite. Quitting is all I can think about, but I can't quite seem to pull it off.
Tori, what more could we possibly have to say to each other?
How about goodbye? But let's do it right this time.
What do you mean?
Something like a fond farewell, something mutual, understanding on both sides.
All right, I'll buy that.
Oh, I had convinced myself that I could do this, but when I get into the same room with you, it is hopeless. Cruz, I understand now. I know why you ran down that runway on your motorcycle so long ago. You couldn't catch me, so you had to do something. That's why I'm here.
Listen,
No, wait a minute. I love you so much. I have to do something. I need to talk to you.
You're the last person that can tell me anything I want to hear.
Everything you said about Lily was true.
What?
Everything you said, how she uses people, she's dangerous and selfish, it's all true, Brick.
What happened? What made you realize?
Lily told me herself. You know, Brick, I was willing to risk everything to save her, to protect her for the cause, but there was no cause. There was nothing. It was stupid.
Detective Hanley, Santa Barbara Police, are you Haley Fantasy?
Yes.
Ma'am, I have orders to take you into custody.
What for?
Her presence is requested in court.
Why?
A special session in the matter of Amy Wallace's death.
Since when? Who called it?
By order of the district attorney's office.
You better go in and take a seat. The judge will be here any minute.
Just a minute, Mason. We're not doing anything until you tell us what is going on.
We're going to show Gina that she shouldn't be so quick to accuse us of bluffing.
But you mean I'm actually supposed to testify?
Oh, thank goodness you were here. I called the restaurant again. I was worried about you.
I cannot believe that you're actually going through this. I thought if I gave you time to reconsider, you'd probably come to your senses.
Darling, I didn't think it would go this far. This is Mason's doing.
It's going to work out for the best. You'll see.
Don't let anyone talk you into doing anything you don't want to do.
Mason, it's not supposed to go this far. I mean, Dad and I had a deal.
Ted, you just have to hang on a few more minutes. Now, will you all go inside? You're going to just have to trust me on this, okay?
I trust you, huh?
Take a seat, Ted. Ted, I've stood behind you and Haley in this from the beginning. I'm not going to let you down now.
We're ready, Mr. Capwell.
I'm still waiting for someone. She should be here any minute.
Yes, sir.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, technically, you're here as a witness. But on a purely personal level, I didn't want you to miss the fun.
All rise. Special session, District 17, case number 5098. The Honorable William Young presiding.
The district attorney has requested this special session. Mr. Capwell, please present your reasons for doing so.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. As you know, I've been looking into the recent death of Amy Wallace, which resulted from a fire which was set during a protest at Buzz's Seafood Emporium. Up until now, my office has had reason to believe that relevant testimony in this case was being withheld by Mr. Ted Capwell. Mr. Capwell has been held in contempt and was scheduled to return to custody, but now has indicated that he is willing to give testimony in this matter.
Mr. Capwell, do you wish to make a statement?
Ted, you don't have to do it.
Mr. Capwell.
Your Honor, I believe my son might have changed.
You gotta stop doing this. You keep saying these things when you know they can't make a difference. Now, why do you do that to yourself?
I keep doing it because I hope that someday you'll wake up and hear me.
I do hear you. I hear you loud and clear. But, Tori, it doesn't change a thing.
Are you sure? Cruz.
You know, you're right when you say that moving away is the answer. And you're going to have a lot of time to decide where while I'm gone.
And how is your salad, Miss West?
Perfect. Just go.
Maybe I should order us a glass of wine. Loosen the lips.
Not for me, thanks.
You know, lunch is fleeing. And so far you have deftly avoided the entire subject of you and C.C. Capwell.
I wasn't consciously avoiding anything.
Oh, does that mean you're willing to discuss it now?
What do you think I'm concealing, Lionel?
Oh, I thought perhaps a torrid romance, blackmailing, shady business deals, drug smuggling, all kinds of possibilities. Yeah.
I cannot tell a lie. I murdered him during a shady business deal while he was blackmailing me for drug smuggling, which accounts for why I was rather surprised that he looked so well.
But it doesn't account for the torrid romance.
Oh, that was before I murdered him, sure.
Oh, of course. Nonsense. I can't imagine you with C.C. Kaplan. He's too staid. Well, I could see you with somebody zanier. You need more fun. I mean, he's about as much fun as his checks and balances.
Maybe he was zanier when he was younger. Weren't we all?
I've known C.C. Capwell for a very long time, and he was born pompous.
Maybe you ought to have that glass of wine.
I know what it is. You're his long-lost identical twin.
Identical?
Yep. Little plastic surgery, a sex change, and maybe drop 30 years.
Maybe. Tell that waiter to make that 2 glasses of wine. I feel an attack of the vapors coming on.
Could you, give us a moment, Your Honor? Ted? Come on, now's the chance to show Gina we mean business.
Wait a minute now, Mason. I told you this before. I'm not going to do this.
You've got a lot to learn about bluffing, Ted. You've got to be willing to go all the way. Now, don't stop now.
Mason, this has gone far enough now. That's it.
Mr. Capwell, can we please get things underway?
Mason, wait.
Your Honor, could you indulge me just for one more minute?
What kind of a trick are you trying to pull?
Gina, we're doing what we said we would do.
Can't you ask for a recess or something so we can talk?
Sure, Gina. Well, we can cancel this whole proceeding if you like, if you give up that tape. And maybe you'd rather go over there and tell Haley that you're willing to sell her out for a wedding ring.
Tonight on The Cosby Show, he's hot and he's in demand. Look out, world, Theo's in love. Will Dad give him some tips? And on Family Ties, Alex gets a blast from the past when his dad has a 60s flashback. Then laughter's on the house at Cheers when